So, I haven't made a video in about 6 months. Now, granted, I haven't made too many videos overall, but it's been interesting trying to make them, and I really want to put a lot of effort into making them more consistently, and I have so many more ideas now. And I've had a very strange year, essentially. I started university, and it's been exactly the opposite of what I needed from university, which has been very interesting. And I think despite it being a very tough year, it's also really been a big year of showing me what I know I don't need, or what I don't like. So, first of all, I applied to a bunch of universities, and throughout the whole application process, I was insistent that I needed a small university, a small campus. I just knew that that would be right for me, and that's what I would need to do well. And then my options kind of depleted as I went on, not because I didn't get in, but just because of other factors such as my allergies and things like that. So I had this one dream program that was actually a study abroad program for a year in England. It would have been such a small community, and it just looked amazing, but it just didn't really work logistically with my allergies. So we kind of scrapped that, which also got rid of an option for university, and then another option fell through. And then I ended up going with U of T, and U of T I applied to as a backup choice, which I guess in this case was good. But I applied to it as backup. I didn't think I would ever go there because it looked too daunting, too big. I didn't want to commute, and I just thought it would be too much. And my brother goes there, and he loves it. He's doing amazing. And I ended up accepting the offer and going to U of T, and I was going into it in the math program. And I chose my courses, and I chose a few math courses, a computer science course, and then I also chose an English course and a film course. And I thought, hey, I'll do a minor or a double major or something with English or film as well. And I was so excited for those electives, and so excited for those, and I really wasn't interested in the math courses. I went into it thinking, oh, why am I doing math? I can't see myself in a career in math. It just doesn't seem to fit, but I still went along with it. And the math courses did not work for me. I switched out of it in like 2 weeks into the semester. It didn't interest me. I had no motivation to do the work. I liked math. I really enjoyed math in high school. I think quite logically for the most part, but at the same time, I think quite analytically. That's the thing. I think there's a difference. I like to pick things apart, in a sense. Which is why on my blog, I enjoy book reviews and movie reviews so much. I love picking apart a movie and a book and listing ABC about it that I enjoyed and what I didn't, and what I think could have been done differently, and just I love doing that. And I love behind the scenes of how things are made and how movies are made, and I just think it's fascinating. I never liked writing. I never liked writing in school. It was really when I started writing for myself that I really started to find something I enjoyed in it. And it was almost inevitable that I started writing because I read so much. I love storytelling, so much. I'm always reading. I cannot find myself anywhere without a book in hand. I love, as I've obviously, I love movies, and I love that mode of storytelling. And I think one of the biggest things was once I discovered YouTube and blogging, I got it into my head that I wanted to make a YouTube channel, and I didn't have the guts to do that. Not nearly at that. I wouldn't have been able to do it at that time. But instead I started a blog, and it turned into something completely different than what I thought it would be originally. And I just loved it, and I think it was the best thing I could have done. And it really gave me a space where I could just put out my opinions whenever I wanted, and it was exactly what I needed. And it opened this door for me to really seeing what I could do, and what I could do completely by myself. I think I had to kind of fail at doing math to realize that that's not what I should be doing, which was really interesting. And I dropped my math courses, and I focused more on the English and film courses. First of all, in my film course, I love learning about film theory. It makes watching movies so much more interesting, and I feel like I can get so much out of them. And that film course also has opened the door to all these old movies, and I have just loved these old movies. They have such character and such amazing stories, and they're so vibrant in a completely different way than the movies today, and it's just so interesting to see such a different type of movie, and kind of where film started and how it's changed over the years, and I just love seeing that evolution of film. I'm not nearly an expert. I haven't watched a huge amount. I've been watching more for sure, and I've been watching more out of class, but it's really just opened the door for me. And I have so much more to watch, and I cannot wait. I've also been taking an English course, which has been interesting. I've found that I really needed this English course. I never really understood why people said they didn't have time to read in university. I was convinced I wouldn't have that problem, and I have that problem. It's been tough not reading as much as I want to. I've had time sometimes to read, but then I feel bad for not doing the readings for my course instead, so then I don't read what I want to read. And then sometimes I'll read all afternoon for a course, and then want to read something like Game of Thrones, which I have not gotten to the third book yet. I started the prologue, and I haven't finished the prologue yet. And I'll spend a whole afternoon reading for my courses, and then I'll just be done reading for the day. And even if there's still time left, I won't have the energy to read for myself. That's not to say I haven't read at all. I mean, in my English course, I've read probably I've probably read 10 books already for that course, and some of them have been really interesting, and it's opened the door to some new contemporary authors, because obviously I read a lot of fantasy, and it's really introduced me to a lot of different authors and kind of a different genre that I don't usually read. But it's been a really interesting course. I love my tutorial. It's like 15-20 of us sitting around a table talking about these books, and it's amazing. I remember watching this one episode of Gilmore Girls where Rory attends one of her first classes in university, and she says, it's amazing, we just sit around and talk about books. And I always thought, God, that sounds amazing, I wish I could do that. And it never occurred to me that I could, and I'm doing it, and it is amazing. And it's exactly what I want to be doing right now. Long story short, I am transferring universities. The UT has been huge and overwhelming and quite unfriendly. I need a smaller environment, less people, smaller classes, and a more focused program. So I've applied to other places, and I'm hopefully going to be going to this one media studies program where I can kind of do writing or film kind of through media studies. I think I didn't realize that I could actually do what I loved. I think it seemed like what I loved was such a hobby, and I didn't realize, I never had that moment of, oh, I should study books, I should study writing and film, and that never popped into my head properly. I think I was thinking too practically, and I know it's good to think practically, but even the change from out of math made such a difference, even though it still wasn't a good year necessarily. I think overall I just kind of figured out that you have to really think about what makes you excited to work. I didn't have the same kind of drive or passion for math, and I know some people do, as I do with books and all of that. And I think it was necessary for me to find out, and I think if I'd gone straight into literature I would have been less sure. I think it was really important, despite the problems it caused, for me to realize that this isn't for me, this is for me, you should be doing this. And I am now actually taking action in changing what I'm doing, and that in itself, the idea that I will be changing schools and changing programs, has made such a big difference. And I'm really, really looking forward to next year, because I think it will be so much easier and so much more enjoyable, and I'm really hoping it's better than this year. Yeah.